All right, this is the Pro Rogan Jobcast behind the scenes. We're trying to establish our video number
Dominance.
one.
What?
Well, no, honestly, I think the best way to do it is to just have a conversation, start the conversation going, and really just be open,
St.
be fruitful.
James.
Yeah.
St. James, what is your vision for this podcast?
Uh, R2D2, I really want this podcast.
Jobcast.
Really, it is a jobcast. It's something that we're going to be talking about
Job.
is jobs, occupations, what occupies people. So it's not just a podcast. It's not just I'm flat out interviewing somebody and then just hey, what do you do and how did you make $1 million? No, I don't care for that too much. Those 15-second videos are great. Don't get me wrong. Hey, it's just a nice car. Wow, I love your house.
What do you? Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome and
that
all.
dude on
But I get no insight.
yeah.
I get no
They
inspiration.
just tell them,
They-
yeah, I'm a lawyer, or yeah, I'm
yeah,
a doctor,
hey,
or whatever.
and honestly, if you have a Rolls Royce, good, awesome.
But
How did you get that Rolls Royce?
yeah.
How did you get started in your industry? What were the decisions that were presented to you that you decided to hop on? That's what I want to know. That's what the inspiration for this jobcast is for. And yeah, I called it a pro Rogan because Rogan, the last name, is synonymous with success. You have
Well, I
the
think of Seth Rogen.
you think Seth Rogen, he's a successful actor and director,
He is.
and he's hilarious, and he's a stoner. So yeah, there's a lot of different avenues to take. You have Joe Rogan, who is
Also a stoner.
also a stoner,
Yeah.
but he's somebody of great inspiration. He's a martial artist. We're martial artists. Like we have a lot in common with these guys besides our career path. So what is the difference? What is the difference between us, and someone like them?
Well, I mean, years of experience, but at the
Of
beginning,
course.
not a lot. I think a lot of people they think that they can't do this because of X Y Z. But can I say like what I
Yeah.
the podcast?
Yeah, dude, of course.
With this podcast, what when St. James came to me, he was like Artie. Everyone called me Artie. My name's Arturo, but call me Artie.
I call him R2D2.
Artie's an idiot. He just called me R2D2. But well, when I was first told about the podcast, I was like, wow, that sounds like really, really cool. I want something authentic, something where you're asking people, not just interviewing people, but you're literally asking them for advice, like us would be asking.
Yeah.
And you would learn from our conversations with those people. And not necessarily just super rich people, but anybody, different lifestyles, what people want to do with their lives. Like I remember I worked for a guy. He was an architect, and the place was only open 4 days a week, and he lived across the street from his firm. And this is gonna sound like an oxymoron, but I was telling my mom one day, I was like, this guy's like a lazy millionaire.
Yeah.
He shows up at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and leaves at like 2 o'clock, and then he just like does the bare minimum to like make his $1 million a year, and then that was it. Like,
And truly, everyone's gonna have different levels of aspirations.
yeah,
Everyone's gonna have different work ethics. But truly, I'm not really interested in that. I'm really more so interested in how can we showcase success. What is the way that we can highlight experiences so that people can be, hey, I'm in something similar. I'm not where I want to be, but this is something I can do.
yeah.
You
And
know, and
another thing that appeared in my mind was I want to see how different entrepreneurs use different resources. Now I'm like, maybe this is just the way I think around the world. I wanted really to see like.
yeah,
Like a lot of people don't know this. A lot of the rice in the world comes from China and India, and I remember I had one teacher in high school who was like, I forgot, he taught like physics or something, and one day he told us, he was like, I don't need to teach. I have like a bunch of rice farms in India. We were like, what the heck? And later on, I came to know that he wasn't lying through another friend, but that's my point. Is I just want to see what people. What do you got? If you don't got a lot of connections, you don't have people in your family, your friends that you know, like or the land you're at. What resources do you have, and where can you go with that? I guess that's my point. I
Yeah,
want to hear people's story. I want to hear the guy from I don't know, middle of nowhere, Pakistan or wherever, and I want to hear how they got to where they are. You know.
and to that point, I know a guy personally, comes from a very large family. He had like 8 brothers and sisters, middle of nowhere in Mexico, and this dude became a very, very successful land developer. How did he do that? How did he get to that
That's
point?
that guy you're talking about.
That's the guy I'm talking about. I don't want to, give any hints or names or anything because I have not secured that interview.
Yeah,
But
not yet. But
I, I want something like that of the sort so that people can see it and feel inspired.
yeah,
So people can see it and be like, hey, well, I'm somebody who's in the middle of nowhere.
yeah, exactly.
I'm somebody from a big family or a small family or have limited resources. How can I get to that level?
Yeah.
How can I get to that point? And maybe you won't, but at least it'll get you to start thinking of possibilities and allow you to pursue something that you really want to do.
Pursue something and think what could be.
Yeah,
What could be. Because I mean, honestly, like everything starts as an idea in your head. You don't just go out
yeah,
and like a walking brain. No, you start. Here's a good example. I remember growing up. I played baseball all the way up until high school, but in little league, they're like, "Do you want to play in like school?" And then like in school, they're like, "Do you want to play in high school?" And in high school, like, "Do you want to play in college?" Like it almost leads to like the pro level. Like everyone has this dream, but for some reason, people are just embarrassed to say that because they're scared of failure. I think, but no, I think that everyone should strive to what they want to do, and it's good to have examples like the people we're going to be interviewing. That's a big reason why I came here with St. James today was because he was telling me, oh, I have these people lined up, and he's naming all these successful people, and I was thinking of people in my life. I really can't think of any examples of wealthy people.
and truly, I want to showcase that. I want to highlight that people of all different backgrounds should have voice. People of all different backgrounds should be comfortable in saying, "Hey, I come in and I'm a landscaper. I cut grass for a guy. I work for a guy who owns a landscaping company, and this is what we do, and this is how I do it, and I'm happy."
And now that
I want that.
yeah,
I want people to see, okay, great. You don't have to have $1 million aspirations. You can have something that makes you happy,
yeah, comfortable,
comfortable.
you just like
That's okay.
like, yeah.
That's great. I don't want to
And now
just
that you say that, I do have like people in
exactly.
mind.
And everybody has people in mind. Everybody has somebody that's doing something that is, wow, that's kind of cool. Hey, this guy knits. Hey, this guy makes shoes.
This
This
guy
guy,
cleans pools, and dude, you go to his house, he's just like still living like a bachelor, like 60.
that's fine. You know,
He seems pretty happy. Now I do have people in my mind
that
I'm
is
thinking
fine.
of.
I want to highlight happiness. I want people to feel inspired when they tune into our channel. I want people to see these are real people doing real things, making real impacts. And this is how they do it.
It's gonna be funny. We get like a rich guy that watches our channel, and then he like turns into like a total degenerate after watching an interview of ours.
Hey man, I take no credit in how people want to
No
live
credit or blame.
and
I'm
how
just
people want to
showcasing.
live their lives. If that's the route they want to take, I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to make you. Hey, you have to go to church every day. You have to do this. You have to
You have to
contribute.
believe this. You
No,
have to
no,
vote for this.
no. Are you happy? Yes. What do you do? I do this. Does that make you happy? Yeah. Why? For this reason. Does that make you happy? No. Why are you happy? Oh, because I get to do this because of this.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see. That's what
Yeah,
I
man.
want people to see. People to take pride in themselves
Who they are
and who they
Yeah,
are.
Who they are. And I
Exactly.
think a lot of people get lost in the grind set mindset. You get all these podcasts about like, let's try to get all this money, all this money, all this money. Um, when I was broke, they're just kind of stuck with like when I was broke, even though they've been rich for like a really long time. And a lot of times, you're your drive, not your path, your journey, your want becomes your meaning in life, which is good. But I also think we want to showcase that that meaning, that goal is different. It's not necessarily just money. It could be whatever, literally whatever you want. And I think the heart of this podcast is going to be exploration.
And to that point, that is exactly why I wanted to start this podcast. I want to explore possibilities. I want to explore opportunities. I want to explore places. I want to do something where I can up and leave and go to Europe and still have something that can maintain a lifestyle.
Like, now you really got
Yeah.
me thinking. Like I want to explore like how people, the different ways people make money on the internet.
Yeah.
I really want to explore
Dude,
that.
that's
And
something.
the new careers that are popping up with stuff like YouTube, Spotify, all these streaming services. Because the reality is, media now is not what it was even like
Of
10
course.
years ago. Even like I remember in 2005 when YouTube first started, I would watch Nigga Higa, Ryan Higa on YouTube. Do you know who he is? The Asian guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, back then, I was like, I could do this is easy as hell. I could do whatever he's doing. He's a funny guy, and just growing up, just from then when I was younger to now, I've seen like a whole wave of different people and YouTubers like
Yeah.
come up, like just normal people. So yeah, I'm just like curious to see what the future holds, and I think just the fact that we're doing this, we're gonna see different. This is going to be more beneficial than like a career day, like when you were growing up. When you were
Exactly.
younger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because back then you just kind of listened. Like when there was career day, just people's like parents came.
Yeah.
And
I'm a
said,
doctor. I'm a lawyer.
no,
I'm.
mine was different. It was more like I'm a waiter.
Well,
we went to different schools.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I grew up very sheltered. I grew up in a very nice little suburb out of Houston. I went to a predominantly all white school. I was one of the only Hispanic people. Well, I take that back. We had a lot of Hispanic people.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say same at my, and I'm just kind of exaggerating and joking. I went to a private school growing up all until college, but still it was we had a kind of like a smorgasbord of people. It wasn't all just preppy kids, but my point being with something, I don't know how often we're going to be interviewing. I kind of want to do it as much as we can, especially if we get cool with people, good interviews. Uh, it's just going to be like almost live. I mean, you're just going to see. You're not going to like have to like. It's a window. It's a window. Now you have people have no excuse. You have the internet. I mean,
That's
and we're
that's
both
it.
professionals.
Yeah.
I'm an architect and
I'm a CPO.
I'm a CPO.
So that's something that
So we're not. I'm not saying that to brag, but we're not. I don't know. I guess we're driven, but we also realize that there's something more than the 9 to 5.
yeah
Yeah.
that's the biggest idea is there's something more out there than just putting in 9 hours of work a day, waiting for rewards, and then taking 2 weeks vacation every year. That's
There's a lot of that because I see a lot of people that work really, really hard, and it's almost like a paradoxical thing. The harder you work, you're still going to get the same salary, the same PTO. So a
yeah.
lot of people feel stuck, even if they're in quote good jobs. I think we just want to show people you don't have to be stuck. Whether you're cutting grass or whether you're a lawyer but you hate your life because you're always in the office for like 70 hours a week. You know, everything has a cost, but we just want to make you more aware of what's the cost for this lifestyle.
I also want to put out there like happiness above everything. The end goal is not money. The end goal is I want to be happy with life. I only get one, and I've already wasted 30 years.
You have.
You're what, 28? Like
Yeah. Speak for
so
yourself, buddy.
so dude, like I feel like time is of the essence. I'm obviously not
Wait, like
old,
for
but
real? Like, did you just feel that when you turned 30, or like?
No, it's been a feeling that's been growing on me for a little bit. It's
But why? I mean, why you? I mean, do you feel like you're where you wanted to be at now when you were younger?
no,
No.
no,
Where do
not
you
at
want to
all.
be right now? Now we're getting. We can cut this
No,
off.
no, no. This is great.
Okay.
This is the insight. This is that window that you're talking about. This is why it is that we're pursuing
Well,
this in
this
the
is
first
episode.
place.
Okay, that first intro, that was the intro. Now I guess it's gonna be
No, I think this
episode one.
is.
I'm gonna interview St. James, and he's gonna interview me.
I think this is great. I think this is how it should start. This is very organic. This is real. This is what I wanted to be when I was young. I always wanted to be an actor. I always
Dude, we have the same one.
no. I'm gonna be completely candid. I always wanted to be an actor. I was in music videos. I was involved with people that were making movies and doing stuff, and
I went to one theater meeting.
and I was never in theater. I always thought I was gonna get made fun of. My all
Dude,
my
they're all weird.
all of my cousins were in band. They all played instruments, and they were the coolest people ever. And I, I didn't want to be the only one in the family that wasn't a musician. And
Really?
yeah,
That
and
was
so
it?
I joined band. And then band, they were like, "Well, you're gonna play the clarinet," and I thought the clarinet was the gayest instrument of the world. So I quit band, never became a musician, and didn't become an actor. So that's kind of where this started because I always felt like I wanted something different for my life than what I ended up doing.
But um, that's funny that you say that because I wanted to be an actor slash. I always knew I wanted to be in movies, like some with movies,
I always wanted to be in movies too.
and I actually got a minor in that. But looking back, we have like parallel things because you said, "Oh, I just did music because like the rest of my family they were like all musicians."
Yeah.
Well, growing up, I wasn't really like popular, but my sister was. And then I remember I was in baseball like all 3 years, and we had a guy go pro, and everyone once he went pro, everyone was like trying to go pro. It was kind of funny, like looking
Mm.
back now, it's like wow, everyone really there's a lot of sheep in this world,
Yeah.
but I was kind of one of them too because I was in baseball. I was like, but I kind of liked it. It's cool. I'm making friends, but it wasn't really like I wanted to try theater, and I did go once. And it's funny now. I'm gonna mention her name because she's on like a major news network now. Leslie Delasport. If you ever see this, you actually did it. You got a degree in journalism, and you're on fucking television. So, congratulations. But I remember I went to a theater. No, if this blows up and she sees this, she's like, "What the heck?" She
Dude, she's
works
gonna put us on the news, man.
probably maybe, dude, maybe. But she has an Emmy. She actually has an
Wow.
Emmy for. I mean, I don't know what. I haven't talked to that chick in like 10 years. But my point is, I went there and I remember I saw her there. She was like, "Hey," and I was all happy. And then I just looked around. I was like, "Man, all these people are fucking weird." So then I left. But I was
Yeah.
so young. I cared too much about what people thought
Yeah.
about me. I was like, they're gonna
Yeah.
think I'm weird. Like, just be yourself. Like, I don't know. That when you get older, it's kind of funny. People would say you're gonna stop caring, but like, that's so fucking true.
Yeah, dude, that's entirely true because that's exactly what happened to me. I didn't want to be the weird kid, the weird theater kid growing up, knowing in my heart of hearts I wanted to be in front of the camera. I wanted to be doing weird stuff. I wanted to be making skits. I
Not
wanted
too
to,
weird, all right?
no, dude, dude, as weird as it gets.
That's where to get
Like,
titty parts.
dude, hey, nah. I mean, at the time, that wasn't that weird. No, but truly, that was always a secret dream of mine, and I think I told that to my mom once, and then she kind of laughed at me.
Dude, the same, literally the same. In fourth grade, I showed my mom my first skit. It was a movie about aliens and how this one alien like falls in love with some chick, and then but she doesn't know he's alien, so he makes himself human.
I don't know how you did that in fourth grade.
But I came up with the idea, and my mom was like, "Man, mom," she said, "Who are you, Steven Spielberg?" And then I just went in my room and I cried.
Well, my mom did me worse. She said, "Oh, you want to be an actor? Okay, well, your dad's coming in about 5 minutes. Let's do a skit right here in the kitchen. If you can convince your dad that this is real, then we'll make it happen."
What was
I was in ninth grade, and she was saying, "Okay, well, pretend I just caught you with drugs." And then my dad walked in, and she said, and we started doing this skit
like live,
like live, yeah, knowing
It was improv.
Unbeknownst, but unbeknownst to my mom, I had marijuana in my backpack.
You weren't even acting.
I wasn't even acting, and my dad didn't believe me.
You're not even. It was so authentic. It was like,
Nah, dude. And then my mom was like, "Oh no, this is an act," and I was like, "Well, yeah, it's an act. Obviously, it's an act." No, I knew, and then they ended up catching me like a couple weeks later. But either way, either way, that was always a dream of mine. That was always something I always wanted to do. I went to LA a few times. I auditioned.
Really?
Yeah, I auditioned twice. I got one call back, but I was only in LA for a week, so I couldn't make it back, and that was the end of that. That was my entire experience. And truly, I've met people that. So when I was growing up, I had a friend named Brady. I'm not gonna say the last name, but
Yeah,
and
I only said the name of the chick I knew because she's already on TV.
no, that's okay. And so I had this buddy, and he was in movies. He was an extra in many movies. He was in End of the World, or I don't know what. I might be butchering, but he did get a big screen role as one of the security guards in Project X.
Okay.
And that was a good friend of mine that I got to see in theaters, and then the movie blew up, and then everybody was like, "Oh!" And then nobody believed me that was my friend, and I was like, "Hey, it's okay, it happens." But that was always an inspiration that I had, and thinking back on it now, I would love to have you know have this conversation with him. How did you get involved? How did this happen? What are the opportunities that presented to you that like allowed you to do this?
Yeah, especially with jobs like that, where it seems where you have to like audition, where
Yeah,
it's like it seems like the barrier to entry to stuff like acting or like music, anything in the arts, it's almost like a popularity, like literally a popularity. Like you need to be
yeah.
popular to make a living, or else you're gonna die.
Well,
But
I don't. So look,
it almost seems very hard for the average person. Is what I'm saying. It's like you get
yeah,
rejected so much, so much, so much. It's like you just got to build your own career yourself, and it's very hard. And it's like especially Los Angeles, where it's like a whole city where everyone's trying to do that.
dude.
I don't know. It can seem very
In
discouraging.
today's age, I'm very happy to announce LA is dead.
Exactly.
The
Like
the, the
with the
new the
internet,
new LA is Austin,
Austin.
Austin,
Okay.
Texas, and we're in Houston. So we're a skip away from
You
from
think so?
super startup. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
hell yeah, hell yeah, dude.
But
Like if you think about where the biggest podcasts in the world are, you have Kill Tony, you have
yeah,
Joe Rogan
Joe
Experience,
Rogan.
you have a whole bunch of different series.
But do you think the film industry, as it was, is like you said, like just dead? Like, do you think
I
more
think
people?
I
Because
think it's
look,
more.
now we're just talking, right? If you're watching this, congrats. Because I
Way to
went to
break
the
the
movie.
fourth wall.
Yeah, but like I went to the movies with my friend Jessica a couple months ago. Well, no, this was years ago actually. Now it was in the end of college, and it was like the
Yeah,
theaters. I was like, does anyone even go to movies anymore? Like everything's like streaming
dude,
or
everything's
online
Netflix, everything's Hulu,
or
everything.
just streaming services. So then
Yeah,
I'm like, uh,
1, 2, 3
and,
movies if you want to get bootleg.
yeah,
You know, like
and I'm like, if people are leaving like. The Big Five in Los Angeles was a Paramount 21st.
oh, I have
21st
I have
Century,
no idea. No,
Warner
it
Brothers.
was this was a dream of mine as a kid, and I never pursued, so I didn't
Okay,
dive
well, I
in.
just looked into it like, well, again, this was like college, high school. But yeah, like the Big Five studios, that's where most of the movies in the past would come from.
Mhm.
But now, like I said, there's all these streaming services, and it almost seems like we're in an era where like it's almost like what's how do I say? It's like me, like the person. Like everyone has a camera, everyone has their phone. It's like
Yeah.
everyone is their own PR agent. Like they can
Mhm.
like make themselves big enough. Like whether you want to be a comedian, a model, whatever you want to do, OnlyFans chick, whatever you want to do. I mean, seriously, it's kind of sad, but
Hey,
like if you really want to sell yourself, yourself, I mean, you can. There's options to do it. Whether in the past, um, you kind of had to like know people or like get a rich person to like get that role or get
and
get the
to that point, I feel like
wheels
because
turning.
there's so many more opportunities nowadays, it creates a lot of confusion. If you have all the opportunities available to you, you're not going to know which way to go.
There's too much information out there,
Exactly.
right?
It's like if you're good at everything,
You're
you're
not
not
gonna
going to do anything.
exactly.
So it's, well, how do you choose? Well, that's what I want to do. I want to showcase, hey, look, you can do this if you have this available. If you don't have it available, these are the routes you can get into that industry. If if this is what you got, these are the resources that you have, you can do this. And that's what I want out of this job cast. What are the jobs of the world that allow people to grow? What are
Jobs that you wouldn't even
that
like
you wouldn't think, you know?
in whatever industry. Like, what does an agent do all day for actors?
Right. How many phone calls a day
What
do
does
they
an
have to
agent
make?
do for like? That's something I think about.
You know, that's a great question. I have no
No
idea.
idea.
I've never met an agent in my life.
Neither have I.
I've never met somebody that's like, oh yeah, I manage this and this and this and
I
this person.
managed Tom Cruise. So.
No, no, I take that back. I did meet an agent once.
You did?
I was in LA and I was visiting a buddy of mine that I met in China,
Is
and
it the same guy? No, not the welder.
I was with the welder,
Okay.
and then we were visiting another friend of ours because I went on this trip. It was cool. I'll tell you the backstory later.
Yeah.
And we went to LA, and he introduced us to one of the managers of what's that actor's name? Like Josh Hutchins or something like that. And dude, the dude was a total creep, super weird, such a weird guy, dude. It was super weird. And all he wanted to do was get my boy drunk, and then like hit on him, and that's all he wanted to do all night.
Sounds like that industry.
And I was like, hey, I don't know if I want to be a part of this, but at the same time,
What are you willing to do to get into movies?
VIP sections, bottle service, all eyes on us. I wasn't even remotely dressed for the occasion, and they still let us in because of who we were with. I was literally in sweatpants and a sweater, and everybody else is in like nice going out attire, like looking kind of fancy, and they let us in.
Yeah.
And everybody was super nice to us because of who we were with, and those type of experiences kind of shaped who I am as a person.
But were you feeling like, oh, I gotta act this way or
No,
okay, that's a good sign.
that's why it shaped me, because it made me realize who I am, and I don't give a fuck who you are.
Yeah, that's
if you're cool, we're cool. If you're not cool,
then
see you later.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I'm not gonna be hating on anybody for anything.
And I think in just in life, this like goes past like entrepreneurship. Well, I mean, especially with like entrepreneurship and business, but just in life, you shouldn't let someone's power, whether it be money, their position they have, you shouldn't let that dynamic influence how you act.
Oh, dude, I'll give you the best advice my mom ever gave me. She said, "It doesn't matter who you're talking to, you're all the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're all flesh and blood.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
We all turn into dirt.
It doesn't matter if you're talking to the CEO or to the janitor of the company. You treat everybody with the same respect. If they don't respect you back, that's on them. But at least you can hold your head high and look anybody in the eye and tell them, this is what I do, this is who I am, this is how I do it.
And be proud of that.
And be proud.
Be proud. A lot of people, you shouldn't feel shame, especially if you just kind of born into a shitty situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
like from 0 to like 18, 19, 20, you got no control over that. You're just kind of like cruising with wherever you're born, and deal with your situation. That's why, like, yeah, if you're young and watching this, just keep that in mind.
Dude, if you're young, try. If you're older, try.
Still try.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Dude, it's never too late. It's never too early. Now, I know people that didn't even graduate high school that are making $1 million a year. I know people
Really?
I know people with PhDs that don't make much, that are school teachers. And they're the smartest people you'll ever meet. I know people that have done a lot of drugs and are now police officers.
I do know a couple of those.
I know a lot of people that have never done drugs and sell drugs. Like
I don't know that.
Trust me, I'm Colombian, so it's like it's
comes with the territory.
It comes with the territory.
And he's from Medellin, so.
Hey. No stereotypes, but but yeah, dude, like everyone has a different stride in life. It's
different priorities.
And different priorities. It's where you want to end up, and that's really what I want to highlight. I really want people to say and see us and be like, these guys have nothing to do with the industry, and yet they're out here making films, making shows, doing a podcast, not have any public speaking experience, and still be able to do it somewhat successfully. That's the point I want to get to.
You want to? Well, I want to get to the point where they see us, where even Joe Rogan sees us. We're like, hey, these guys made a pro Rogan jobcast,
Dude,
and they're
or
actually
Seth
pretty.
Rogen.
They're actually pretty good. Yeah, or Seth Rogen. I want. My point is, I just want people that are already known to see us be like, I remember them, and like
Yeah,
we
I
actually
remember
we
those
came
stages.
up.
I remember that stage
Yeah, yeah.
filming in my basement. We're literally in my backyard right now.
I mean, he's a
Like,
couple of steps above me. He has like an actual property and like a family. You know, I'm like,
I'm not gonna lie. I've been very blessed in life. I have been extremely blessed in life, and I know this because when we first moved to this country, I had to live with my cousin, and we had to rise up out of that and start from scratch. In Colombia, we were doing very well. I was a baby. I moved here when I was three, 3 or 4, and so I don't really remember Colombia as
well,
my
you
place.
go, y'all
But
go and
yeah,
visit
yeah,
a
oh
lot.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I've gone and visited, and I have a good Spanish skills, and I still have somewhat of an accent when I speak Spanish, and that's all great. But I got to live every single stage of life. I got to see what it was like to not have anything, to not have a toy, to not be able to afford a Happy Meal at McDonald's, to my dad buying a $600 car with this entire ceiling of the car falling on my face every time I touch it. Like I got to see,
and it smelled like cigarettes.
and my dad didn't even smoke. Like I got to see what it was like when my dad first bought a house and we couldn't afford furniture, and so we all had to sleep on
Sleep
the
on the
floor.
ground.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we didn't have any chairs. So then we had to go to Goodwill and buy, $200 worth of silverware and mixed match plates, and everything was crazy. Then I got to see my dad evolve and become a successful entrepreneur and grow his family and elevate us to the standard that we are now. I got to see all that.
See,
That's
I didn't. I guess I
like
just had like
so that's what I want
teachers
to
or
show
parents.
people. I want to show people that perspective that it doesn't matter where you're at. It doesn't matter what you're doing right now. Tomorrow
But
can
I
be
also
better.
feel like St. James. I
I
also
know that's an alias, so don't give him a hard time for not remembering. Like,
we're doing it for legal reasons. I also feel like just in the short time I've known you and your family, your dad's very unique man,
yeah,
and that's coming from like an outsider, like a guy that hasn't known you very long. So you kind of privileged in the way of kind of just being your father's son.
yeah, yeah. I'm very dude. I'm very privileged. I may not have $1 million, but I'm rich as fuck. I may not have the financial backing of being like that, but I have that attitude.
And
I
it's good that you like the
like,
stages, like you said, the stages.
yeah,
I didn't really go through any stages, but I do have family that kind of like consistently been in like the same stages, but like the different stages. Like I see family that are like pretty comfortable, just like really wealthy actually, that are like in manufacturing, and then I have other cousins that are just like grew up in trailer parks and
yeah.
like all stages, right? So I kind of like I don't want to say I lived vicariously through them, but like spending time with them, I would spend like sleepovers growing
Mm-hmm.
up on like both spectrums. Just I saw that, but in my life, like myself, I'd never experienced that. But I guess just with the large family, I was able just to see the different lifestyles.
Yeah. And dude, I've seen the opposite trends too. I've seen
And
people,
people go
yeah,
backwards,
I've seen people. I've had family members that grew up in a great lifestyle, and
but
and now they're struggling really
is it
hard.
because of when that happens? Do you think? Is it like a combination of reasons? Like, is the family like the family falling apart, or like because of their
I,
own issues, or
I feel like everyone has issues. There's always going to be personal challenges
right?
and obstacles that come in that come in your life. But I think it's just personal choices at the end of the day.
I think so. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's if I want to plan for tomorrow, I need to start with today. I need to start with what I'm doing on my day to day basis so that I can be at that level. So when I get to that opportunity, I'm ready. That's what they say. What is it? Luck is
Luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
exactly. So if you're prepared,
How do I know that? I'm prepared for the opportunity, I guess.
there you go.
That's weird. You like pulled it out of my brain.
That's the luck, dude. That's what this is. That's what this is. It's showing those perspectives and opportunities that we've experienced and allowing somebody who is on that cusp to take that chance, to make that bet, to bet on themselves for once.
And to know when to do that. A lot of people,
Yeah.
a lot of entrepreneurship and life, people are scared to make choices. I think whatever you do in life, you cannot. I see it a lot, man, especially like in relationships. But you can't make choices out of regret or fear. I think whenever you do that, the outcome in the long run is usually it's not good. It's not
Look, I don't want to give
relationship advice
or personal advice.
personal
I don't want to
advice.
give advice. All I want to do is I just want to show this is what it is.
Even if the entrepreneur, whoever interviewing, kind of got there, do you think any of them are going to get there through luck?
Yeah.
Okay, so you do want to show even that side.
Yeah.
Even like,
oh yeah,
this guy just stumbled
Hey,
into it. Let's see.
this guy was born into a very very wealthy family,
Or this guy discovered like,
or this guy he inherited a plot of land and somehow had a bunch of gold in it.
or
you
his
know,
neighbor died and he had no heirs and his neighbor just
and
liked him.
and just gave everything to him. Yeah, I would love to show that.
Just to interview the guy. So how'd you get your millions? Oh, this guy died. And
Dude, I played a scratch off and I won $1 million. Like, that's awesome.
What's your plan?
You were prepared to spend $5 on a scratch off. You had that money. You had the luck. The opportunity was there.
I also want to see that's interesting. I also want
Like-
to see if their ego, or like if they
Dude, that's
get inflated and all of a sudden like, yeah, it was meant to be, like after they get the money.
exactly. Hey, I was a plumber my entire life, and then one day my wife died, and she had a great inheritance that she never told me about. And so now I'm living life with all of these supermodels and doing all this kind of crazy shit. Like, that is a great story. That is an awesome experience. Is
Sounds
that
like a Lifetime movie?
is that going to be advice for somebody?
No.
Is that something that people could be? Wow, I didn't know that. Of course. Is that a lifestyle? Hell yeah. Is that a path in life?
Well, like
Why not?
Sugar mama?
Why not?
Hey, I guess,
Why not?
Hey, why not? Why everyone has free
Yeah.
will, right?
Yeah, dude. Like, all I want to do is show people
So it's not,
these
I get it.
these
This
are
is everything.
this is everything. This is 0 to 1,000.
We're not the feel good podcast. And we're not the grind set mindset.
Exactly.
This is real life.
This is real life.
Okay.
This is what actually happens off screen, off when the camera's not rolling.
Yeah.
This is what really takes place. I grinded my whole life. I did this and I did this, and that's how I was able to make my small fortune of $100 million. Awesome. Great. That is very motivational. Hey, I was born into a family. I was able to take a small loan from my dad, and I built this enterprise. Shout out to Trump. Like I want to show that. People have the right to know. Hey, it's not all roses and rainbows for everybody. Because even when you're at that level, you have shortfalls.
And you still have problems.
You still have issues. You still have obstacles. You have a lot of things to overcome. Dude, I have this 20 million square foot home that I need to furnish. I need furniture in every room. How am I going to put all that stuff in here? I have no, those
I
are
was thinking more like fake friends versus
whatever.
Like more money, more problems.
I'm not there. I don't know.
Biggie Smalls, more money, more
Yeah.
problems. Yeah. So I was thinking more like that. You're thinking the furniture.
Dude, it's an example.
That's a great problem to have.
All problems are great problems to have. A problem is an opportunity to better yourself.
Who do I fuck today?
That's a problem. Like, how do you resolve?
A king's problem, a king's life.
Hey, man, kings have
King
issues.
Of Saudi.
But at the same time, you have, people that aren't doing so great that live very happy lives. Yeah, I have a wife, I have a kid, I have a stable job, and what more do I need?
Like I said, more balance, especially chemically.
I get to wake up every morning and smell the roses. I get to wake up every morning and go on a walk, come back. My wife loves me. I know everything that we're gonna do today. There's no surprises.
Yeah,
That this is the simple life that I want to live.
and I remember I was watching
That's amazing. That's beautiful. I want to show that. I want people to take pride in the small things. It doesn't always have to be the latest Ferrari, the latest Pagani, the
that's what I was gonna
latest.
say. A lot of like I was watching another podcast with Dan Bilzerian, and he was
Mm,
saying, after a certain extent, you can't buy happiness. Or you
exactly.
can buy. I also think maybe like drugs, your brain chemistry, like the dopamine, whenever you're on drugs, whatever. A lot of the times, money can also replace you buying happiness, like the new car, the latest thing, the latest, or a guy hooking up with like the newest chick, right? Um, I want to ask people, do you have problems? Like, I want to ask,
Yeah. What are the issues that you face in
yeah,
your day to
yeah,
day?
or now
You
versus
know,
when you were broke, or like, what are you facing? Are you worried that
dude.
that's gonna happen?
As somebody who with a lot of money, what do you miss about being broke?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a
You
good
know,
way to put it. I want to
like
ask people what they miss in certain stages of
yeah,
where they're at, and it's almost like that. You don't know what you have until it's gone. Saying I want to see, like life has its ups and downs, and I want to see how people's
dude.
how their mind changes.
My dad always told me life has trade offs. If you're faced with a difficult decision, make a pros and cons list.
Yeah,
Everything has a trade off.
yeah, pretty much, basically.
So yeah, if you wanna buy this house, but you're an hour away from work, but it's super nice house. Okay, so you have a pro, you have a con. Or I can move into a house that's down the street from my office, but it's not the best.
There's no yard.
Luckily for me, we're in my yard and I'm down the street from my office. But either way, like there's a pros and cons to everything. I got married at want to say 28, 27.
28. Okay, you're younger than me.
You know, so what is the cons of that? Now I don't pursue women the same way. I don't, if I get hit on, I feel bad. If
You feel
somebody,
bad.
yeah, I do. If somebody compliments me and it's a woman, I feel a little awkward because I don't want that to escalate any further. I don't want troubles at home. I don't want my wife to feel insecure about herself in any way, shape, or form. I want her to feel empowered and confident that she has a man that is there for her. And I want I want peace in my life. I want stability. I want to be able to experience everything that I set my sights on. If that's going to Europe, if that's traveling Asia, I want to do that with my wife.
You mention Asia a lot, man. You must like Asia.
Asia's dope.
Dope.
Asia's a great place, to be honest with you. It's cheap. The people are nice. The food is all right.
The food
And
is all right.
hey, man, you find some crazy stuff, but when I was
Fried cat.
in, no, when I went to China, I did eat a fried scorpion.
Oh, really?
Like literally off the street. Like there was a cart, like a hot dog stand, and they had a bunch of weird insects and like tarantulas and stuff, and things were alive and in cages. And there was this black emperor scorpion, and I was like, "How much for that one?" I negotiated with the guy. The guy got a giant toothpick, shoved it through the tail, chopped the stinger off, and deep fried it right in front of me.
What did it taste like?
It was terrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was god awful. It was super crunchy and
Was it like sour? Was it like
it tasted like honestly it tasted like a
damn scorpion?
really really crunchy like a shrimp with a shell on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Was the meat? Was there like a lot of meat? Like a shrimp? Like shrimp? Like,
it was kind of like shrimp, and then he sprinkled salt on it. So like, I mean,
see,
I
that's what I look. That I want to see just different lifestyles too.
yeah
Entrepreneurs all
yeah,
over,
dude.
all over. And
But the idea is clear. You're not going to make it in life unless you're working for yourself. You're never going to be
I
at
mean, I
that
think
level.
eventually just it leads to that. No matter what you're
Yeah.
doing, even if you're working at McDonald's or I don't even know any burger shop like or any small even if you're working just retail, eventually you're gonna like go from like just the employee to like a manager to like eventually own your own store. It almost seems like that's obviously
The
the natural
sequence. Yeah.
hierarchy, the natural order of things. So yeah, and I think it's just important for people to have the right mind when wherever they're at to get ready for any leadership position. I mean, you're in a leadership position. I'm not. I just have to like. But I do. It's almost kind of like poker. I always think to myself like, what's this guy think of me? You know. But maybe that's
See,
just me. You
I,
know?
I I used to think that way too, and then I
But
stopped caring about what people thought of me, and I started caring more about what I think of people. And when I started doing that, I started realizing if I think the best of everyone, I can only imagine that they think the best of me, because truly it's just a reflection of myself. If I think that you think that I'm an asshole, I'm just telling myself that I'm an asshole and putting your face in my mind.
yeah, I mean,
That's
just
it.
in a
That's all I'm
negative.
doing.
Yeah.
So if I think that you're an amazing person and we have a good relationship, I can only think that he thinks that I'm a good person too. So I started thinking the best of everybody every time I meet them.
Yeah.
And that has completely changed my life.
But I think a lot of people.
You know,
That's a good thing. You need to
I've
see the
become
good. You need to see the good in people.
exactly. I've become less self-conscious because I make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time, but I own them. You know, if I do something wrong, yep, hey, that was me. If you're gonna fire me, fire me. If you're not, okay, how can we grow from it? Hey, I told this contractor to stop working on this project. Why? Well, because he wasn't wearing safety vests, this and that. Oh,
With
okay.
all these OSHA rules.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. Is he going to be coming back tomorrow? Sure, if he gets his PPE. All right, bet. Cool. Problem solved. If I tell somebody, hey, get off site for no reason, that's poor on
Yeah.
my end. You know, that's a bad reflection of what I'm supposed to be doing. So if I think, hey, sure, there are people that are going to be coming out to get you, of course. But if I think everyone's out to get me, I'm not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be able to rely on somebody. You know, and
How long have we gone? Do you care about keep going?
yeah, keep going.
Can I interview you a little bit?
Yeah,
CJ?
yeah, dude, of course.
Um, I'm gonna ask you some stuff.
Yeah, go ahead, by all means.
Uh, so you work for your dad, correct?
Yeah.
Did you always? Did you? Was that? You said you wanted to be an actor when you were younger.
Yeah.
When you were in college, when you started college, did you? But that was when you were younger. The actor thing. That was when you were a lot younger.
Yeah.
So when you were in college, what did you want to do? When you started, like
Started college, I also wanted to be an actor. That
so
dream,
that
that dream never faded. The only thing that faded was my pursuit. So, well, actually, I'll take that back because when I was younger, I wanted to do it, but I was scared to do it, and so I didn't pursue it.
Okay.
When I got older, I met people that were musicians and making music videos and making like small videos, and so I asked to be involved, and in a sense, pursued it that way. But
it wasn't the main.
it wasn't.
The main thing.
It wasn't the main.
It was kind of just like a dream.
It was
not like this is going to be my career. I'm going to live off of it.
Exactly. It was more of a hey, this is what we're doing this weekend with a bunch of friends, and it was fun.
It's fun.
And I was probably the only one on set not getting paid. You know, and I didn't even know how to ask for payment or what I was entitled to or anything. You know, so and then at the same time I had a change group. I had a change of friends, and so that kind of divided me. So I didn't want to keep living that kind of lifestyle because it's a lot of going out, it's a lot of drinking, it's a lot of partying, and
with that group of friends.
With that group of friends, and so I was kind of maturing in a sense where I didn't really want to pursue that much, although at the time I was still having a lot of fun, you know. And then when I got to college, I had no idea what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
I was very confused. I had worked for my dad my whole life, and I still do, but I wasn't an engineer. I wasn't pursuing engineering. I didn't think I was going to have a good position in the company. I thought I was just going to be really doing labor or project management, you know, for the most part. And things kind of changed because I graduated with a degree in sociology and philosophy. So I graduated understanding people and thought process.
So you do have a degree in philosophy.
Yeah, I have a minor in philosophy. So I studied was ways of thinking, and then I also studied organizational structures through sociology. So I was able to translate that into my father's company and to be like, hey, look, we don't really have a structure here. We don't really have a clear hierarchy of, who do I go to when I have an issue? Who is my direct boss? Who is my manager? I don't. We didn't have that for a while, and up until I think 2 years ago, we really started developing that. And I want to say,
become more efficient now since you started to.
well, we're going through a growing change right now.
Okay.
So we're going through like, developing like employee performance reviews. We're rolling out ERPs, so like tracking systems, and how to manage a project more efficiently, and how to keep the financials in check, and all those kind of stuff.
How to use a Gantt chart.
Well, that was no. We already did those, but
Yeah.
but
I'm just naming random things.
I know, but it was more the structure of the company. So you have a boss, you have a team of managers, and then you have your labor force, and then that labor force gets split into different divisions. So you have marketing, you have construction, you have project management, you have professional services, you have these different divisions that have to tie in together. So how do you do that? How do you keep the marketing side from going to the professional services and saying, hey, I need you to post this on LinkedIn, and the professional services guy going, that's your job, and now there's conflict. How do you separate that? Okay. So you need to have a strong structure in place. So that's what I studied, really, was how to develop an organizational structure, how to encourage.
It's really important in the business.
Yeah, yeah. So that's how I elevated my career within the company, was by presenting these not only problems but solutions.
Yeah.
How do we solve this issue?
But in college, so did you spend a lot of time switching from one degree path to another?
It took me.
Go to sociology.
It took me 9 years to graduate college.
Yeah, it took me 8. So we got again a lot of parallels.
Yeah, a lot of parallels there. But I studied a little bit of everything. I took classes in business. I took classes in finances. I took classes in computer programming. I took classes in art design, and
I took a dance class.
I took an art appreciation class like 3 times.
I think people that switch and flip and flop always take art appreciation.
Yeah, that's fair. I took a music theory. Yeah, I took a music theory class.
Music appreciation. You're just appreciating all the arts.
It was something crazy. I took endless philosophy courses.
But did you? I guess my point is, did you know you're going to end up working for your dad after college? Or, no.
No. I always had a thought of moving to somewhere like Seattle.
Yeah.
Somewhere where I can go surf on the weekends, and then the very next day go hike a mountain. That was always a dream of mine.
Are you proud you ended up where you're at right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
And do you feel like
I think I'm on the road. I'm on a path to a very promising life.
Yeah.
And that's kind of also why I wanted to start this podcast at this time. Is
because you feel like now it's felt like the right time?
It's the right time. I'm married. My wife is pregnant. We're starting a family. We just moved to a nice place.
Yeah, you're at that stage.
We're at that stage where I don't have many needs left to fill.
Yeah.
Now the rest are
like your needs. You're the provider.
Yeah.
You're the man.
So now it's more wants.
Yeah.
So I'm making that little skip over to wants. What do I want in life?
Yeah.
I want to be my own boss. I want to be the owner of my own destiny, essentially. Which is ultimately the goal for
everything for life. I mean, what you want. A lot of people they just get the needs.
Hey,
they never get what they want out of life.
Some people
they just survive.
Some people don't want that.
Well, some people they just want their needs. They just want
exactly. And some people are comfortable just meeting their needs.
Yeah.
Some people have a strong desire for more. That's okay. All of that is okay.
Had that strong desire for more?
Oh, dude, I've had dreams since I was a kid of having this massive house, having badass cars, having all this kind of luxury lifestyle. Like, yeah, I've always wanted that.
I think I did too when I was younger, but as I got older, I don't think it was more the wealth. Don't get me wrong. Like I was always like, I'm gonna have like the sexiest woman in the world and all these cars and a yacht and all this.
Yeah,
But the older I got, it was more like I want freedom. I don't like.
that's
Yeah,
exactly what I was alluding to.
yeah,
Is for me the biggest luxury I can afford in life is time freedom. How can I escape my 9 to 5 and still be able to provide for my family? That is my biggest goal,
yeah.
objective, or whatever.
And I forgot the. There's a word for what you're saying. Not escaping. A lot of people they hear 9 to 5, especially older people. I'm 28. You're
I'm
20.
30.
You're 30.
I'm turning 30 in 6
Well, a
weeks.
lot of boomers they hear our generation say like they would hear something like that, like escape 9 to 5, and they think, oh, they don't want to work. They don't
Mm-hmm.
want to work 40 hours a week. That's not what I
Oh,
mean. When I say I escape 9 to 5, I think what I mean is I don't want to trade my time for a certain amount of money. I want to create something to where even when I'm not working, it's still kind of influencing people and working people when I'm not. And it
exactly.
doesn't mean like make people work and grind and I'm making all the profits. That's not what it means, at least to me. To me, it always just felt like how much am I going to impact others? You know, even
Exactly.
after like I still listen to Michael Jackson. He's been dead for years.
Yeah,
So I mean, and it's just I don't want to say you judge a person by the impact they leave, but there's got to be some level of legacy. You know?
that's exactly what I wanted to allude to. That's what I want. I want to establish a legacy, not for me, but for my descendants. I have a son on the way. I want him to grow up in a life where he's like proud of what my dad does, of what his dad does, the way I'm proud of what my dad does. My dad is able to employ people and give them a life.
But tell me when.
You know?
Oh, you can keep going if cutting you off.
No, 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 no.
When you're going to be a father, um, when you were growing up, did you think has the fact that you're going to be a father changed anything in your
Yeah.
mindset
Oh yeah.
already? Even though you're
Yeah.
not a father yet, it's already changing your
Yeah.
mind. Okay.
Dude, it's completely changed my outlook on life. It's no longer, and this is very cliche. It's no longer about me. It is now about my family, and it's no longer about my parents either.
Yeah.
It's now about the family that I am the
Well, your
head
family,
of,
yeah, your
that I'm the head of. If I don't succeed, my family does not eat. You know, so I need to produce something that even if I'm not working, can still provide, and something that I can leave to my son. You
but
know,
growing up, I had a conversation with a friend of mine at work, and I'm not gonna get too religious, but I'll just say what I said. You know, she said, "So do you pray?" And I was like, "Yeah." But usually in my life, whenever I pray or even whenever I think, it's usually for other people. And I remember, I haven't even told you this, but when I graduated, I was really sick. I was getting fevers of like 106. I was
oh,
sick for like a month, I lost
oh
like
shit,
17 pounds, and I was seizing. I was going in and out of consciousness until I finally went to the ER, and they basically saved me. They drenched me with IV. But when it was like 2 days. I was just laying there. I was like praying my fevers would go down to like 105, and if it got down to 104, I was happy because I wasn't seizing anymore or hallucinating. But when that was happening, it's kind of funny. I wasn't. I was just like kind of thankful I lived because
yeah,
a lot of people they don't, and I had a pretty good life. Have a pretty good life, and like I said, whenever I pray, I guess, or whenever I think of others, it's almost like I think of other people's well-being before mine. I mean, I don't know if it's to an unhealthy extent, but I don't know. So whenever I hear people say now that I have kids, I think of them first. I don't know. To me, I think to myself, maybe I'm going to be a good father. That maybe it's a good sign that I was like thinking or
yeah,
like that, or the culture I was raised in. I'm not sure. I don't know. Or maybe I'm
dude.
just a guy that cares for others, and I'm just see myself as expendable. I'm not, I don't know.
To make a family is the easiest thing in the world. To provide for a family is the hardest thing in the world. And right now, I'm somewhere in between. So I've formed it. I'm more expecting. Now I have to execute. I have to really be able to combine everything that I've been able to do in life and then make it happen. I have to grow it.
And can I say one more thing? Sorry.
Yeah. I didn't want to cut you off here.
Whenever you're kind of like a unique. Your whole family's kind of pretty unique, man. Because like when I first met you, and then we're at jiu-jitsu, you were saying that when we first got here, we didn't really have anything.
Hmm?
Most of the time, I told you I went to private school, so I remember there was this guy. I'm not gonna say his name. He went to Syracuse. I think he went to Notre Dame. He went to law school. Both his parents were lawyers. I think he was gonna work for his dad, but he was born into like wealth, right? And he was not an immigrant or anything. He was born here, but whenever I see someone that works for their dad, I'm not gonna say it like you, but
No, it's okay.
well, whenever I see someone works for their dad, especially for like a white collar job, like a lawyer or something, it's like, oh, this guy, it's handed to him everything.
Yeah.
But you're kind of in a unique position because it wasn't really, because you said you always worked for your dad, and you kind of started from the bottom here. So it's almost like as if I started in like a 12 or like in high school working for like a company that decided to hire a 13-year-old and then just kept working at that company, went to college and studied whatever that company does, and just kept doing it in my adult life. So that's what I'm saying. It's pretty interesting.
That's literally what I did.
Literally what do I?
Yeah, dude. I'll give you.
So that's why I don't really get mad at whenever like you're like, oh, I work for my dad, and like you having all these blessings. I'm not really angry because you were there with your dad whenever it was like growing, when it was starting from the beginning.
Let's put it like this, man. My dad is an engineer. He's a civil engineer.
Yeah.
When we were in Colombia, he was 25, so he was younger than me right now.
Wow, man! It really puts perspective, right? Like how short life is when you get to this age. Like, what?
Yeah, and he was the head engineer of the biggest construction company in all of Colombia. He was.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
He was the top guy. He was like, he went on site. Everyone called him doctor. Everyone like shows him the utmost respect. And today and age, my dad is one of those guys that, for whatever reason, walks into a room and commands respect. And he's the nicest, funniest, most human person I've ever met in my life.
The few interactions I've had with your dad, he's nice to everyone.
Dude,
very welcoming.
He's very welcoming. He does not encounter a single stranger. Everyone that meets him is, wow, I would love to work for this guy. And I think that's why I never left. I never left. I never veered.
There was never like.
It was.
Your dad seemed like a very fair man.
Extremely fair.
Yeah.
Extremely fair. And it's not just
like
fair.
If I was a criminal and he was a judge, I would feel okay in that trial.
Yeah. No, he's. The thing is.
If that makes sense.
The thing is, my dad, he has a heart of gold. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. Is he gives everybody the benefit of the doubt, but he also gets taken advantage of. And that's kind of why I suck around so hard. It's because I'm a very good person, but I'm not as good as my dad in that aspect.
Yeah.
I'm quick to cut people off. I am quick to, hey, this isn't working out, I'm out. And my dad is more of a, this is not working out, let's figure it out. Let's fix it. Let's try to make an amends. And a lot of people,
But in the long run, have you seen he's a pretty good judge of who he can fix a relationship with?
No, he's not. No, he's not.
I thought you were gonna say he's
no.
Okay. That went like I thought it was gonna go this way, and you were like, no,
not at all.
I would do it way different.
No, my dad, I think, only dislikes one person in his entire life, and that's because they cheated him really hard.
Okay.
Really, really hard on the project.
Business move.
Yeah, it was a business move, and he just got played really, really hard. But that's also what I was pointing out earlier is that's his heart of gold. He takes everybody, whatever they say, on face value, and
that isn't good.
It's not great. It's good when he's dealing with people that are professional, when he's dealing with people that know what they're doing and understand what it is they're doing. And so he has become more cautious of that professionally. In his everyday life, dude, he loves everybody. He doesn't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, smoke, don't smoke, you know,
Afraid of rocks.
whatever. He doesn't judge you based on who you are as a person.
Yeah.
He judges you more on how you are as a person, and how you interact in society, how you hold yourself to an extent.
It sounds like he doesn't really care about labels. He just sees the individual.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
Especially
It's
as
a
a
great
leader, that's a really
thing.
good
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Like my dad has never fired anyone. Anyone.
But that to me is unheard of.
From the company. Ever.
Ever.
People have left the company.
But they're never fired.
They've never been fired. People have been fired now because I am the CPO. So I have.
Yeah, you're changing that.
I have fired people.
Okay.
My dad has never. Right. I have told people, hey, based on your performance, based on this, we cannot continue to employ you. And that being said, the only person I fired, we rehired. so we have.
We got a divorce and we got married again.
Well, no, but it's. I have been able to kind of bend the balance to that
flaw,
to that big heart, really.
Big heart.
It's, and I'm able to advise him now on a more professional level. Say, hey, look, this and this is occurring. This is happening. These are good options, and then this is my recommendation. And then based off of that, he's like, okay, yeah, we can move this way, we can pursue this way, and then we have other people in place that kind of hone in on the structure. So we have a COO, we have a CFO, we have people that I can go to before I go to my dad and be like, hey, Pop, this isn't working. It's I go to the COO and say, hey, look, based on this and this, we got to change this from an operational standpoint.
Yeah.
Based off of these and these, we're going to need more finances coming in on this end, and that's just structure. So that's what allowed me to develop my professional career.
And do you feel like working with your family?
It's tough. It's very tough.
That's Also, I was about to ask because when I first met your sister, she said she did marketing. There, but
she's the director of marketing for the company.
So, do you feel like you would work differently if you first off, have you ever worked at another company just
oh yeah
for your dad?
No, I have worked at different companies, but I've never they were never in a professional aspect. So the companies that so like I've had teenage jobs. So I worked at a golf course. I worked at Abercrombie. I worked as a what was it like? I don't know. I've had different jobs, and then the closest one I had that was, I guess, on a professional aspect was I was a job coach for kids with autism.
Okay.
So I kind of coached them up, and then got them hired, and then helped them keep their job.
And how old were they?
They were anywhere between 16 to 28.
Okay, so they were like teenagers, young adults.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then their degree of autism was varied. So we had some that were severely autistic that couldn't really hold a conversation. We had some that were very outgoing but just freaked out over little things. Yeah. So I had to manage these kind of personalities and kind of teach them, hey, look, this is how this would happen, and then also be a face of support. So when I had a kid he was a waiter, or not a waiter, a food runner. So when he would encounter a table that was, just a little bit more standoffish, or didn't understand what this kid was doing, because they, on the face they look like normal kids.
Yeah.
But their behaviors are a little erratic. So when he would come to a table and the lady's still eating, he's trying to pick up their plate, and she's like, no, I'm still eating, and he doesn't understand. Hey, I'm supposed to take the plates at this time. You shouldn't be eating anymore. Like, and then there's a conflict. So I had to teach him how to analyze that, how to, like, hey, if they're still eating, it's okay. Just go to a different table. Hey, if they're telling you no, that's okay. They're not rejecting you. They're just trying to ease you into a different, so that you don't keep bothering people, so that you don't, and then kind of help them develop more social skills and just simple stuff. That was my closest professional job outside of working with my dad.
Okay.
But that was something I did almost in my free time. Just like holding two jobs because working for my dad, I started as a laborer, so I was literally out in the field pouring concrete, tying rebar,
Hey, which is really good.
like knowing how to build something on a
'Cause I
project.
design stuff, but a lot of people I work with, they don't know how the stuff is actually put together.
Exactly.
So I'm like, how can you call yourself an architect?
Exactly. So sometimes, so then when I started, raising the ranks, and I go to a job site and I tell the guys, hey, you're supposed to do this way, and they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just a guy in a white collar. And I'm like, no, dude. If you're trying to form a sidewalk, the sidewalk has a curvature in it. You got to slit the wood so that you can bend the wood and not break it.
Yeah.
So that you have one consistent piece, and then this is how the curve's going to go. This is how it's going to bend, and then you go at this rate, and kind of gain the respect little by little. And I don't have to show them and be forceful or a dick about it.
Yeah.
I can be very kind, very nice, understanding. Hey, you don't know me. I know what you're doing. You don't know what I'm doing. This is how this is supposed to work. This is what the owner is going to want to see. And then we all kind of like create this harmony, this harmonious environment to work in.
Which is good because you don't really want a lot of tension
Oh,
in any
dude,
workplace.
tensions are always going to run high. People are working from sun up to sundown. Yeah. They're hot. It's heavy.
It sounds like you
like,
are good at creating systems
yeah.
and want to say managing those systems slash people.
I'm really good at managing people. I'm really good at like getting people to reason with me and to like see eye to eye. And one of the biggest takeaways, and I steal that from my dad all the time, is I treat people with the utmost respect from the jump. I don't.
Which I think is really important because a lot of people have big egos just because they can hire someone they think is expendable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that think everyone's expendable.
Yeah.
And again, recently I heard someone say like, "Oh, everyone's replaceable."